Hola. We are going to talk about questions. How to ask and answer yes and no questions. And so, questions is preguntas. Preguntas de sí y no. Okay, let's get started. So, the formation of questions. Okay, yes or no questions. So, there's a difference between a statement and a question. In spoken, written Spanish, statements are formed by placing the subject at the beginning of a sentence, then a verb and an object. This is a basic statement. But also, in Spanish, we can use the same order, and just by putting question marks at the beginning and at the end, then we can make a question. But this is a statement, basically. We are using our subject at the beginning, Erika, and then the verb, whatever the verb is, in this case is speaks, and then the object, and you know what she speaks. She speaks French. So Erika habla francés. Okay, so now let's see, we know what a statement is. So now let's see how questions look like. There are three main patterns for yes and no questions in Spanish. Okay, so like I was saying, we can use the same format for as a statement, but we can put the question mark at the beginning and at the end, and we make a question. Erika habla francés. Okay, so that's one of the patterns. The second one, we can use the verb at the beginning, and then the subject, and then the object. Does Erika speak French? Or also the verb first, the object, and then the subject. In both cases, we are asking, does Erika speak French? But as you can see, we can switch the order, and these are all valid ways to ask something in Spanish. Erika habla francés. ¿Habla Erika francés? ¿Habla francés Erika? Okay, so the subject of a yes or no question may also be understood rather than stated. And so, in this case, the subject, we are talking about Juan. And so, our verb and everything is gonna agree with what we're talking about, and we need to use those question marks inverted at the beginning, like here, and obviously at the end, like we do in English. And so we need both to be an actual question in Spanish. Juan habla inglés. Does Juan speak English? And so the word order for questions and statements can be identical, like I was saying previously. And so we can switch the order, go from a statement to a question, and the order doesn't change at all. Like I said in previous presentations, in Spanish there's not an equivalent for the helper verb do. So you're not gonna find a do in any question like we do in English. And so, Juan habla inglés. Juan habla inglés. See, we can see the question with both question marks. Juan habla inglés. This is a statement. And so in this case, to make our question in English, we have to say does. Does Juan speak English? Normally, that's how we will form this question. But in Spanish, we can just get rid of the question marks and then becomes a statement. Juan speaks English. Negation. We already know that to negate something in Spanish, we place the no before the verb. Okay? No toca Miguel el piano. So we're asking, doesn't Miguel play the piano? Okay? So negation, and this is our verb, to play. In this case, for instruments, we use the verb to touch in this case. So, no toca Miguel el piano. The no is always before the verb. Okay, always. So even when it's equivalent, it's after the verb in English. So I have an example here. Nosotros no somos de España. And this is a correct sentence in Spanish. We are using the negation in front of a conjugated verb. We are saying we are not from Spain. Even though in English we are using the verb, conjugated verb, and then the negation, right? In Spanish, we have to do it the opposite. Negation first. And when we answer a yes or no question affirmatively, we say sí, and then we add the rest of the statement. ¿Hablas francés? Do you speak French? Sí, hablo francés y español. Okay, so answering positively. When we answer something that is it's a no, requires a no, we're going to say no and then the rest of the information. So we say no followed by a comma and then precedes the verb phrase. So, ¿estudias química? No, no estudio química. So, and we have to say the negation again. Otherwise, it would be, we need to make like a emphasis that's what we don't do. We don't study chemistry. So no estudio química. So a little example here, exercise. Dice, the question is, we need to choose the best answer to complete the dialogue. And so let's see the dialogue here. He's asking Alicia, ¿vas a clase? So are you going to class? And then the possibilities could be, sí, voy a la clase de inglés, sí, voy a la cafetería. And so probably the most logical would be that she is going to class, right? And so, sí, voy a la clase de inglés. She is going to class, so assuming that they are both classmates. And here's an activity that we can use. In this case, we are going to negate these answers. So it says, you love being contrary. Make the following statements negative. Just like in the model, el profesor es alto. That's the model, and so we need to say that he's not tall. Okay, so el profesor no es alto. And so using these statements, we can form these sentences negative. Okay, this is all for today. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time. Ciao!